I'm wasting time on these things. You didn't get a whippersnapper. Anyway, Grumbler here. Don't ask me what time of day it is. I don't even know what time the time warp is. 4:40 in the morning, West Coast time. Still Tuesday, the morning of the May 21st, 2024. Why the hell am I up this early in the morning? I don't know. Nature called and I had to do the zombie thing. So here I am, zombie. Arrgh. Trying to avoid the diary of the griever named John Weaver, which is me, because I'm trying to stay away from the damn triggers. So I was talking about recipes and food and other things. That's all right. So let's get back to that because I don't want to deal with the politics today. It's not all of it. That's a Pandora's box, and I'm hearing that box opening right now. Shush, shush, shush. So back to the vintage crap. There are sites on YouTube that I watched concerning about vintage stuff that we remembered, stuff that we lived through, stuff that we existed. And I kept asking myself, why the hell am I going through this shit in the first place? All this food products that no longer exist, yet they're a pain in the ass to deal with it. I was talking about recipes that I was dealing with at home for vintage stuff. So let's do work on that one, shall we? Just something to get it done and over with here. Let's see. They call it chili mac, but it's actually not. I'd called it American chop suey, but it's not using chili. It's using tomato sauce stuff. So basically, how you fix spaghetti. Some people take out the open the jar and just plop it in. Me, no, 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 no. The family, a long time ago, would take the packages of McCormick or Lowry's. Lowry's was supposed to be better. I liked the McCormick's, but they still had the same similar taste. They're still salty as hell. Salty and tomatoey. So that's what you used for spaghetti. Then you had a small can of tomato paste and a larger can of tomato sauce to mix those stuff in. So you got your bases going on. Okay, so now you got your powder, you got your paste, and you got your tomato sauce in it. Cool. Now what? Well, add some meat. Basically, in a burner, you already had your hamburger. Some people could use ground chicken or ground turkey for that, for the spaghetti sauce. But hamburger always, because we didn't have the ground chicken, we didn't have the ground turkey. We weren't health conscious, we were budget conscious. So cheap ass, greasy hamburgers. 70%. Oof. Yeah. See, a huge ass burger shrinks down to a handful over here. How does that work? So, add the hamburger, add it in with the sauce, mix that up, can of mushrooms, throw it in there. How about if you had a can of stewed tomatoes or chopped tomatoes? Or even add the chopped tomatoes yourself. Fine. How about onions? Not so much. I mean, I liked onions, but not so much. So once you had the bubbly stuff simmering and simmering, of course you have to have a pot of your pasta that you're going to use. Whatever kind of pasta that you're going to be using. We always used the spaghetti. A long time ago, we had done the spaghetti until we actually came across. I'm going to modify the story a great deal in this one because there's a lot of bad memories with some of this stuff. But mostly it's the regular spaghetti. In my later years, switched over to angel pasta. I don't know what was so much difference about angel pasta except it was faster to cook, thinner to use, just as costing as much as the regular spaghetti. But it also left me bad memories these days about it. Stories on this one, maybe different videos. But my family got used to the angel pasta in our later youth. And the things that are represented. So spaghetti was one of those things we'd use. Now, if we were doing our American chop suey, we would get, not the wavy mac, but we'd get the elbow macaroni. And in a huge baking dish we had that we always used. Spray it up. We had sliced cheese, not the American crap. Oh, cheddar cheese works. Shredded works as well, but we prefer the sliced cheddar, just on a constant basis. That's what I did. A one man person could make this stuff, you know? One man person could make this stuff. And that was fine. After you get your pan buttered, you get your sauce layered in there, get your noodles in there, layer, more sauce, and pop it up the cheese. Layer it up until it's covering nearly every corner of the pan. Shove it in there. 350, maybe about half an hour, 45, just enough for the cheese to melt. Melt and become gooey. Just gooey. Just yeah, take it out, and it's this melted gooey stuff here. Oh, and if it had brownish spots, it got perfect at that point. A little brown spot here, a little brown spot there. Kind of cooked a little more. Oh yeah, I left it in about 40 or 45 minutes there. I mean, 30 to 40 minutes would work. Now you want to crisp it up a bit. You left it in there about 45 minutes, and then it's not so much gooey, but it was still gooey enough. Now, it works better when you have a microwave oven for reheating it, because then you can pop the stuff in a microwave dish, the leftovers in there, heat it up, and it's just as good. It's just as good. These days, I can do that kind of recipe for a fresh start, no problem. I can make the elbow macaroni, no problem. I can make the sauce, no problem. Have them different containers already warmed up like crazy. But putting them into an oven, forget it. At this point, I just have to take it fresh. But if I wanted to do reheats, then the boiler technician, the steam, comes in handy. And it's not the same. It's not the same, except maybe if you put it in the microwave and it gets a little drier in there. But in the steam, everything else becomes moist. You got your double boiler, you get your plate, but then you get a larger lid that you put out over the damn plate. So the steam that's coming up around it goes into the dome and just cooks it on the top, and the bottom of the plate is heated up because of the constant action from the boiling water, from the heat. So you got it cooking on both sides. It takes a longer while than a microwave, but it works. It's survival. What else did we have? Steaks. Where'd you get afford steaks? We afford just hamburger. That's about it. Hamburger patties, and they'd last long. Smash them up. What else? Hamburger helper. Oh no 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 no. We're not talking hamburger helper. No. Mom would bring out the green skillet with the temperature control on it. If I could pull that damn thing out of the storage, if I actually have it somewhere around here, maybe I can use it. Because that thing I still would have been able to use electric skillet. I missed that electric skillets. We had a silver one, and we had a green one. The green one was the non-stick, and we cooked stuff in it. The silver skillet would have been the one for browning meats, so we could throw it in throw it in different places to cook things up longer, or just cook them in the skillet itself. I gotta see if I can still got that right here somewhere. I have to. I need to. Because there's certain things out there I still want to cook, and if I could just do it in one skillet without worrying about the damn stove being messy all the time, but also dealing with the damn bugs around here, I would have been okay. Because with the skillet unit, it's got the heater coils, and the controller unit, just shove it in there, and you dial up whatever you need and get to cook your stuff that way. And at least those things I could wash hand by hand and not worry about them. Is all. I miss them. They're around here somewhere. I gotta still find those damn things. They're useful tools. Very useful. Because I remember some of the recipes I've made of those things, and a long time ago as a teenager to a young adult. Believe me, you get to live by electric skillets some days. I was saying something about hamburger help, and I was having a conniption fit over that damn shit. Oh my god. Oh, we could do it in an electric skillet, or else we did it on a damn stove. Most of the time it was on the stove. Oh god, I hated that. Oh, I follow the packages to the letter, and it comes out. What the hell is this shit? What again? Eat your food, John. Make one more noise, and not gonna. Should make a thread about that one. Okay, ma. Okay, okay. Can't feed it to the dogs. Might kill them already with the human food. Some things they could eat, other things they couldn't. One thing you couldn't do in an electric skillet, I hadn't been able to do stuffed green peppers, or bell peppers anyway. Red and green. Mostly green. I don't know why we kept doing the green all the damn time. What's wrong with red peppers? They're sweeter. But the green were tangier, and I didn't like it all as much, but we ate them anyway. Found a recipe in a health book. Trying to remember the damn Betty Crocker. Yeah. No, it's the American Heart Association, I think. Got that book about 30 plus years ago. Good stuff to fix. Good stuff to fix in there. What else did we cook? Steaks, chops, hot dogs. Hot dogs and macaroni and cheese on a constant basis. Cheap ass hot dogs, get the cheap ass macaroni and cheese. It's always macaroni and cheese of Kraft, of course. And we eat that shit. I even tried the Velveeta stuff. I couldn't even stand that crap. And sometimes I could, but other times I'm like, give me the other stuff. Give me the powder. There was always a mixture regarding the powder stuff that would make it saltier a little bit because you didn't add as much milk and didn't add as much butter in it to make it a little bit more starchier. A little bit of a cheesier sauce instead of just liquid rolling down the damn thing. Follow the directions, and it's supposed to be the stuff on the packet. Ball. I had to modify my recipe a bit on it. I had to modify the ratios. Sure, I can get the noodles cooked to al dente, or at least worse than that, to what they want. But then it was the flavoring of the mixture. It's not the mix. It's not the powder. It's how much milk and how much margarine that you put in there. Oh, put in about this much. Put in about half. Put in about this much milk. Put about 2/3 of it or less. Then you get the stuff that they got on the carton. Then you'd have your cheese sauce there. The Velveeta crap. Oh, back then you used to have the cans on that shit. Not the popper top. You had to open it up. Get the can opener, open it up, and then you got the Velveeta crap in there. Of course, you still need to have a little bit of milk. Not milk, but a bit of butter to grease it up a little bit before the cheese goes in there, and then melt it up. And then they had the packages, the foil packages. Cut or tear those things apart. They're impossible to open up by hand anyway. And then just kind of squeeze the Velveeta out of it. Uh, or if you want to consider the Velveeta government cheese. Now, don't knock me on this shit. When you are actually able to get the government cheese from the food giveaways, there are there are giveaways out there somewhere that still do the government Velveeta, and it lasts. And it lasts for several meals if you're using it enough. If you happen to get a package of available macaroni or spaghetti, you're in luck. You got food. My brother and I did it all the time. Go to the food giveaways, get the Velveeta, get the macaroni, and then if we actually had spam or something like that in the food kit, there's our food. Be better if they actually had some onions, so there's some flavoring. That's food. And if you got a microwave oven, hell, you're in hog heaven. But without a microwave, boiling. So you take your noodles, get them boiled up in one particular pot, set them aside after you get them drained. put the lid on the damn thing. Or actually, keep them in hot water just in case, because now you got to get the other stuff going on. My brother and I, David and I didn't do that the last several years in this place. I mean, we did use a double boiler, but not as much because we had a microwave we got. So that damn thing out, and we had to get another microwave. I miss using microwaves. I miss cooking with the damn thing. I also miss a coffee maker. I miss those things. Coffee makers, different ones altogether. Fix your coffee in there so you don't have to worry about the shit. These days, living with coffee crystals. You see this container I'm going to be pulling over here? I know it's got my crackers in here, but I'm constantly getting this stuff on a basis over here. That was sugar. Doing an Amazon order on this shit. Used to do the cream powder until it got expensive. Then just hell, use the milk. Did that all my life. What's wrong with that stuff? So that's what I did. But the coffee crystals became the normal coffee. I've forgotten what the measurements were. Usually about a cup and a half. And those powder containers that you would get for instant drink stuff, they would have the measuring cups. Some of them are different in ounces. There's one I've had for, God, what was it, 40, 45 years? Still using it, stained with coffee. And I always know it's, a long time ago. Key from the past. I still used it for coffee, especially when I could. Do cowboy coffee every once in a great while just to see if I can still do it. I never liked that stuff anyway. Give me a coffee maker. You'll put your water in there to the lines, and then you'll put your coffee amount measure that I would know, about 1.5 of that scoop. And then turn the thing on. Just wait for the perk. Water coming down through the nozzles into the chamber, and you see this black liquid in there. Oh, it was ready for you. Maybe about 1 or 2 cups, 3 if you're lucky. Back then, they didn't have such luxuries. So actually, we're getting such luxuries, but yeah. Well, we got the coffee makers. I mean, that was it. We didn't go to cowboy coffee. We didn't do the stovetop measurement. Couldn't deal with that one at all. Ma had to have her coffee. She had to have her coffee. Up there in the mausoleum is a cup that survived throughout the years. That was her last drinking cup. Some people, it's just a coffee cup. Well, it's memories. It's memories. It's stained with her coffee. I could throw it in the dishwasher so many damn times, but the stain is engraved into the porcelain. It's stained, and it's got her in it. So I don't touch that cup or anything. As for the food, as for the finished stuff, they'll talk about whatever kind of packaged stuff they've got. Specialty stuff, we didn't deal with specialty cooking. We really didn't. We would deal with survival cooking. Eggs and bacon, yeah, okay, I was taught that as a kid. My brother was teaching me how to cook on that one. He had a way of cracking open the eggs and just crack, and then there goes the stuff in there. I'm like, hell with that. Crack. That's it. That's all I did all my life. I tried that cracking of the egg and just blow up in there. Sometimes I had the shells in there, so I wasn't very handy on that one. But it does take practice on it. Every once in a while, I'll get it right. But spam, fried spam. Well, yeah. Now here's something I did with the fried spam at this point over here. Uh, I have grits. I like grits. For the last couple of decades, I've got into grits. More than that. I guess it's about 25, 30 years. I didn't grow up with grits. I didn't grow up with grits. I grew up with cream of wheat and had to have that ruined. Uh, Side story on there on the cream of wheat. Don't add cold to it. Never. Otherwise, you get lumps. After you get your cream of wheats already fixed, you do not flood it with cold milk. Otherwise, you can't eat the shit. No matter how many times you keep trying to work around it, it just solidifies into a ball of dough. I don't think I've been able to convince my mother, but I don't think she understood it either. Hot hot cream of wheat works. Throw in your fruit, cook up the fruit a little bit. It'll melt, it'll congeal in a thing. You throw in some sugar, but I discovered these days, it's a discovery for me anyway. If you still have some hot water with you, and you throw in the hot water, you'll keep this stuff still liquid enough, but not solidify to chunks. So you still have this creamy stuff to deal with. It helps. It works with me. But grits, different story altogether. Yeah, as soon as I get the consistency I want with the grits, transfer it to another container, put some butter, salt, and pepper. Okay, fine, you got your bases in there. But then, what else do you add on it? Some people just, okay, what that's it. Not me. Throw some cheese, throw some spam, scrambled eggs, sausage, or anything else in there. You got breakfast, dude. But throw the cheese in there. It adds it even more. It makes it more. Onions, forget it. I don't do onions and grits. It just doesn't work. Sausage, I'll throw in the thing. Sausage patties I get for the freezer sections. Heat them up a bit, either by microwave or by skillet. Preferable by skillet because then I get the flavoring in the skillet and throw in eggs. After I get the sausage removed, throw the eggs in it with a little bit more butter or something. And I get the cooking. I get the flavoring. Then I can throw that mixture into the grit mixture, and then I get my food. That's what I do these days. But I didn't do that back then because we didn't do the grits. We didn't have grits. We didn't make grits. We got the instant oatmeal stuff. We got the cream of wheat stuff. I didn't like eating cream of wheat until about my adulthood. Worked at one particular company. Actually had a cafeteria in there that people would have their meals at, their breakfasts and their lunches, maybe some snacks. And in there, during the breakfast time, I discovered they actually had oatmeal, but they actually had cream of wheat. And they had granola, and they had brown sugar. Wow. Maybe some fruit. Holy moly. That was hog heaven. When I could afford the breakfast, I'd eat that. I mean, scrambled eggs and sausage are fine. Scrambled eggs and bacon, okay, fine, and toast. And maybe the pancakes and hash and French toast when I got the mood for it. But the cream of wheat was it. I learned how to eat cream of wheat during those days. You had to live by budgets. You had to live by your means during those days. You had to stretch it out as much as you could. I guess I've stretched myself out because I know there was a story I was going to be saying about the angel hair, and that was kind of hard to deal with. But it's going to be a longer video. I know once I talk about this. There was some friends my family had made a long time ago. Came from Guatemala. Made it into the States to make their life. And they were trying to do that. Different jobs they would have. This father would have wanted a dream of having his own pasta place, his own restaurant. He called it pasta place. The wife would be a manager at a retail company that I ended up working for her for a short time and stayed in that place until they laid my ass off. Things happen. But because my mother was running a bookkeeping income tax service, That was where we made their contact because they made contact at mixers and places, handing out business cards, and we started to get to know them and their family a bit. And that's how I got jobs over at one particular retail company where the lady worked. Worked in her department for a time, then afterwards worked in another department, but she was still department in charge of the floor. But also, the husband, we also did his books. Well, I did anyway. We had his food. Not bad. And he taught me and Dave how to cook angel hair pasta and how to deal with it. So we switched from regular pasta to angel hair, which he was used to. That was fine. And it was nice for about a decade or two, roughly in that time period. But here comes the but on this one here. 2005, rents got up to a point where we couldn't afford it, and the landlord was going to steal the place. We couldn't make any first or last down on it to buy the place. We didn't have the credit. We didn't have the money for it. We were struggling as it is during those days. And I was working in an insurance company. I was making as much as I could. Dave was in between jobs left and right. Ma was struggling with her clients. One of our clients said that they had a place out in Palmdale. We pay them rent. We'd have a roof over their head. Fine, sure, no problem. So now we discovered we had a place to go. So over Memorial Weekend in 2005, we moved. We had friends helping us out. Oh, no, paid workers this time. Well, we did have some friends helping us out. We get over to Palmdale. We didn't realize that the place that they actually had was going into foreclosure. So the money we were paying out, we couldn't, wasn't keeping the place for us. We only kept it for several months before we got ourselves kicked out. Had to find another place. But when we found out about the foreclosure, we went over to our friend's place. They disappeared, moved out of the state, never to be seen from again. My brother tried to locate them, but they'd gone out of country. So we never did see him again. We never did hear from him again. Disappeared like a fart in the wind. Yeah, that's a lot of resentments towards him. A lot of resentments. Sucked. There's a lot of anger issues on that one there too. Misadventures after misadventures, but moved to another place. We had a year. From the foreclosure to another place in the same town of Palmdale. Just opposite ends of it. And instead of a year, we stayed about 6 to 8 months. Lease was going to be broken. We took him to court, moving money out of it. Moved to an apartment complex. Lived there 5 years. More stories I probably buried in the wind files on this one, on my logs, on my video logs on this one. To this day, I haven't heard from that family ever since. None. Sucked. But I don't do angel hair pasta all that often these days. If I can afford it, fine. But if I can't, or if I can get it, fine. But it still adds too much hard memories. But I can still use regular pasta, no problem. But anyway, I guess that's better for right now. I'll do my blathering a little bit later, but I had to get this stuff off my damn chest and crawl back to sack, give me a couple of more hours of sleep. So, till then, boys and girls.